All right, good evening, everyone. So for tonight's session, taking the leap can apply to any aspect of our lives, but unfortunately for careers, bringing it to a next level brings a lot of anxiety and fear in a deadlocked and unfulfilling job for a lifetime. Tonight, we're going to be discussing how to make a leap from a project manager to a program manager. I give you Jehad Isteitiyeh, 30 years of experience in technology. 13 of those years have been with Walmart Canada. He started as a systems implementation analyst and has worked his way up to to a program manager. Sorry, just got that. Someone coming in. So he's been supporting technology and operations domains and encompasses store implementations, infrastructure, self-checkouts, and online grocery. Now, throughout his time at Walmart, he's had to implement a bunch of projects in those domains, and Jehad's had the opportunity to support areas of cross-functional teams, store operations, and Walmart International. All these projects and implementations has given great impacts to the customer and the experience in our stores and our online. Jehad has also been a lifelong learner who loves challenges, and he challenges himself. That's why he takes on small projects at his house. Most recently, he's installed a pergola in his backyard and a water sprinkling system. And he's also painted a bunch of areas within his house as well. He loves barbecuing, and he's a handyman around the house as well. So he's actually the perfect man. And that's what makes his wife very happy to have Jehad by her side. So without further ado, Jehad, take us away.
Thank you, Mohammed, for the introductions, and hello, everyone. My name is Jihad, and I'm here tonight actually to talk to you about the leap from the project manager to a program manager. Let me share my slides. You see my screen, or
yep, we're all good.
Okay, you see my slide, yeah? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Okay, so just before I begin, here's just like a brief introduction about me. I graduated in computer science degree, and I don't want it to sound too old, but I was in the first class to ever graduate in computer science from that university. I won't tell you like the exact year, but that was back in the 80s, and probably some of you weren't even born yet. I'm not sure if Cole was born at that time. I have been with Walmart around 13 years, as we said, like Mohammed. I started like as a system implementation analyst, then progressed to project manager, and currently a program manager in technology. So today, what I'll do, that's I'm going to walk you through my journey from project managers to a program manager. Okay. First, let me start to tell you actually why the program manager role was created, and why there was a need for this function. So imagine this. There are like, about 15 major projects in the technology at Walmart Canada, including even though the Walmart International. Previously, each project had a project manager working independently on these initiatives. just wanted to emphasize on the word independently. It's important here. We have about let's say about 400 plus stores and like 10 to 11 distribution centers in Canada. And now imagine what happened. Even though the project managers at that time, they did a fantastic job in planning their own projects. However, in many instances, during the implementations, conflict arose, waste of human resources, and capital loss. Why is that? It's just because each project was run separately. Like, what do I mean by that? There were like limited communication between the project managers. The project owners weren't aware of each other's project detail, or even when they were aware, they didn't know that much about the timelines and the required resources for those projects. I faced that scenarios, those issues to me while I was working as a project manager a few years ago, while I was managing a multi-year project where the project is that we have to install a new server hardware to all Walmart Canada stores. And at that time, I was working with Walmart International to do that implementation. Then while I was doing the planning and I'm getting ready for the project to start the deployment, I found out that at that same time, there was another project running similar to my project. And it was led at that time by a different project manager. And where that project manager, she had to procure the new servers for the pharmacies. So the things that she was not aware of my project, I wasn't aware of hers. And how did I find out that? One time I was walking by the technology warehouse just to go to check on some stuff. Then walking there in the warehouse, then I see discover what is this all those boxes of servers sitting there on the floor. Then I walked in there, I said, guys, what are those boxes? Those are really servers. It looks like that's what I wanted for my project, but I haven't yet started or created the purchase order. So what's going on? After asking questions, investigating, then I found out, this is the pharmacy server upgrade project. Imagine if I hadn't found out that. I would put a purchase order to purchase probably at least 300 new servers for the implementation. So that will be duplicating what was really needed. That would have been a significant loss of capital and human resources. That said, in 2016, the Walmart Canada CIO decided to create the program manager role to solve some of the issues I just talked about now. That's how the program manager born in Walmart Canada. Okay. So what is the purpose of a program manager? I'm gonna pick on Coca-Cola. Can you please read what's on the slide?
The purpose of a program manager oversees the delivery of a program composed of several projects to achieve organizational growth and strategy. He or she also leads the program implementation and deployment.
Good. Thank you, Cola. Okay. The most important words on this slide are organizational growth and strategy, because the tasks and The purpose of the program managers, the key role is to help the organization achieve its objectives. An example of the strategy I worked on, it's one of the programs I was responsible to deliver included the self-checkout acceleration. That project was part of the front-end reinvention strategy. And that's where it provides like a better and a faster experience for our customers. Another example of a program that was part of improving customer experience was the contactless payment methods. Probably all of you guys remember last year in Walmart now, you can go and you can use a tap on the debit reader. So that was one of the strategy, and this was like sort of we've been working on it for so many years. So the program managers, it oversees and provides guidance to various project managers and promotes coordinations between them. And that's what I've been doing with my project manager team. When they come and they ask for questions, collaboration, that's where I just send them to each other. That's what you need guys to do. You got to work together. You can learn from each other's to support each other's. One of them, they have different experience than the other, they can share that experience. So that's an excellent learning experience for the project managers. As well, the program manager is responsible for identifying, justifying, controlling, and monitoring the interdependencies between various projects, dealing with escalated issues that are outside the scope of project manager, and managing the benefits generated by each project toward the organizations. So the main task of a program manager is that, just want to give you like an idea, what is our department now set up and the technology. So in the technology department at Walmart, we are 3 program managers. We have 1 program manager for the logistics domains, takes care of all the logistics and the distribution centers. The other program manager for the omni domain, which is the look after all the e-com product, the online grocery. And me, myself, I'm responsible for the technology and operations domain. I'm managing now about like 3 programs and with around about 30 projects. There are 10 project managers that are working on my programs to work on those 30 projects. So what do I do as a program manager? First, I ensure that all the projects are implemented without conflict in timelines and deliverables, ensuring that the resources are deployed efficiently, meaning no waste of capital and human resources. Then I work very closely with the project managers and the other cross-functional teams, such as the store operations, construction, finance, legal, merchandising, and so on. How do I get all this done? So in the next few slides, I'll walk you through some of the tools I use, but just going to give you an overview how the program, when I start working, and how do I build the program. I start reviewing the list of the projects that has been assigned to me. Then I just go through them, through the requirements, the budgets, what resources required, and what are the timelines of the deliveries of those projects. Then after gathering all that information, Now it will allow me to start building the program by regrouping the projects. Like these projects those are for the technology, which is going to require, let's say, end of life equipment. This is the project where we're going to work on it because they're going to be delivering a certain project, but there are dependencies among them. So to accomplish project number 4, still project number 1, 2, 3, they have to be delivered at the beginning. Then after that, then I just go and review the resource capacity to make sure to confirm that we have enough project managers so they can do the work, or do we need to go and to hire more project managers? Once I assign the projects to each project managers, then they are responsible to start working on creating the project plan and the delivery of that plan. All those project managers, they're going to be managing the project, they will report to me. What I provide to them, I'm there to support them. I'll guide them. I do have my weekly one-on-ones with each one, and as well, we have the group meetings, the team meetings. Some of the team meetings, which is that's what we found out really it is important for my program, that it will give us the opportunity that to review quickly and fast our deployment schedule. The deployment schedule in the project, it's very critical, because if you have like about 30 projects and you're running a deployment, you just want to make sure there are no collisions between the projects. And but because what happens previously, project A, they are working at night. Project P, it comes in the same night and they wanted to do an upgrade. For example, project A, they're upgrading the wide area network. So that's they're going to shut down all the wide area network on the store. And the other project that comes in, well, we wanted to install, let's say, self checkouts. Well, you need the wide area network. Sorry, you cannot. And we've done it happened before. They had to back out and to leave. With the deployment schedule now, the way we looked at with the team, each project managers, they will enter all that deployment schedule into the master schedule. Then we'll run the script to find out if there's any collisions between them. And if they are, that's the opportunity between the group. That's when we'll review the schedule and they can negotiate the rescheduling, like, to see if we can reschedule the deployment of this product at that night. We can work it out. So that's where it will give us a better idea. So it did help us a lot to accomplish our project deployment. As well as a task of a project manager, that's I meet with finance to review the budgets of each project, as well provide the forecast on each project. So it is my responsibility to make sure that the money is spent well and not to go over the budget. Also, I do meet with the project sponsors to update them on the progress of the project and to discuss any concerns or future projects going on. So that's what I will build my relationship with the sponsors, the project sponsors. Just wanted to show you, these are some of the tools where it helps me with my programs. So this is a snapshot of a roadmap where I have the list of all the projects. I can generate that report and it gives me an idea, a snapshot of the project. So by the time, by probably now by looking at it, I could see, what? Good news, all the project is green. Oh, There's one project, it's yellow. So it grabs my attention right away. Like there's a yellow project. Then there's a problem in my program with that project. Now, that information, it's fed by all the project managers. Each project managers, they have their projects already created in Jira, and that's what they need for each project. They have to provide information about the project, like, what is the project descriptions, what is the start date, what's the end date of this project, what are the highlights of the project, what are the next steps of the deliverables going to be there, are there any risks, and if there's any risks, then what are the mitigation plan. As well, the most important things is it's the status, it's the project status color. Is it green or yellow or red? Thanks God there's none of them for now red, but that's what is it. But if it's red, then that's everyone, it will be start reaching the flags, it is red. But with yellow, at least it's not that bad. So it gives me a quick review, and it's all from the project managers, it's all up to date. That's where they make sure this is up to date information, so they don't have to wait out like by the end of the month, whatever. Like whenever they have information, feed, so we can be proactive on if anything it needs to be taking actions already. So that's one of the two. This is my favorite one, and this is where we spend time with the team. Probably you've seen like there's a lot of coloring here. Looks good, but at least for me, by the time when we looked at it to study it, it will give me a good idea. It's the implementation roadmap. So we take one project at a time, and that's where it's. For example, let's say I'll take this the first project, and this is where is it going to be the implementation roadmap. It will tells me, well, okay, this project, now we're going to be creating purchase order to start the project. So that's what is it, by that week, we're going to have the purchase order ready. We're going to submit it to the vendor, and then everything gets in gray. That's the procurement. And that's what we're looking at to come at the end, let's say the week of August, that's when we're going to be getting our equipment. So now with all different projects, so I have a vision on what is going to be the plan. I can see when we're going to be creating the POs, where are the equipment that are in the procurement as well. It helped me to have an idea of the implementation. So if you look at it here, this is all the yellow. That's where now it raises some concerns, a lot of questions on that yellow things, because the way we looked at it now here, you see how many yellow, those all yellow, they are implementation projects. The way we looked at it, we're going to be very busy in the month of like September to October. With that amount of deployment, like I gotta think about it, like, oh, how much I'm gonna be impacting the stores. This is gonna be impact the stores. It's gonna be impact the business. Like look at it, like all those projects. If we're gonna be visiting the stores in 5-6 projects, that's just all impact. So what we do, we look at them here. We try, then I look and say, okay, so let's say 2 projects. We looked into what's the deployment and what does it require from the deployment. Are we going to be using the same vendor? Maybe, hey, Mr. Vendor, can you please do the 2 projects at the same time, at the same night? So you can do, like, for example, you're going to run data cable and can you install a computer? So that will be an impact to the stores, like a 1 visit. As well, then is going to be saving cost. Instead of the vendor, they're going to go twice to the stores. They can be there already there, so there's a saving as well, and less impact. So that's where it gives us a good idea where are we with the implementations. As well, the team, when they start running their implementation roadmap, as you can see, like this area where is like nothing there. There's no yellow. All is that white. Probably Muhammad, he knows what is that month. Would you know what is those months between October to December?
That is blackout. That's our
Blackout. That's it. There you go. Like we
Isn't that
are
golden
not
quarter?
allowed. This is the blackout. This is where is preparing for Christmas. So those are like, we know, you know what? You do not come near those dates, any of those ones, because that's where we have the change freeze, the blackout, whatever. So that's where it will give us a better idea when it is in front of us. Then we know what's going on, and then we can start shoveling some of the implementation. If it's going to be from September, or we have to move them to January to go what's going on as well. That will be the tracker for us to know where are the shipment. Like, you know, sometimes, because especially now with the COVID-19, before we used to get the equipment within 6 to 8 weeks. Now, because of we're having an issue with the shortage of the electronic components. So now the vendors are telling us, you know what, you're gonna be forecasting at least probably 14 weeks. So that's why we have it there. We'll put it there 14 weeks, or whatever we get the update, we'll try to adjust our implementation roadmap. So that's where it will give us a good idea where are we with the implementation. Another tool, it's the financials. This is the financial, that's where we'll get the list of all the projects, the budget number, what is the budget for each project, then how is going to be the spend of this project, the budget on the projects. So this is where it's going to be the deployment. If we're going to be start deploying from the month of May, when are we going to be spending the money on the from the budget? And because sometimes where we said, like, you know, when we talk about, hey, we might be combining some project together to working, so there will be some saving money. So that's where we can put now here, where is our saving? And if there's any extra money from my budget, we can put it there unassigned budget. Then what we can do with that money, we can give it back to the business, and the business, they can take it back and they can put it there and to see if there are some other projects, maybe they are sitting in the queue, they're waiting for funds. So that's where it will help the business, and that's where it will improve the business productivity, the implementation, all that thing. So that's what is it, that's really, this is a very important spreadsheet. Like, you know, we use it just to manage the budget to see where is it, so we can give the money earlier than later. Okay, so now talked about what I do as a program manager. So now what's difference between a project managers to a program managers? Project managers, they manage individual projects, 1 or 2 projects, that's what. Program managers, a group of the projects. They're going to focus on the work coordinations for the projects, whereas me, myself, I focus on the program strategy. Short term to long term. The success of the project, they're going to look into the timelines and the budget. Whereas as me as a program manager, I'm going to look into what's the ROI and what was the company-wide objective as well from this from the program itself. Okay. So what makes a program manager successful? And these are, like, in my opinion, these are the skills that I had to work on and develop in order to be a successful program manager. Communication skills. It is very important, that skills. You need to be comfortable communicating at all levels of the organizations, from the senior management to the VPs. That's what it means. And as well, we need to be able to adapt communicating style according to your audience. My audience, we deal with from the senior management to the VPs, to the store managers, to the vendors. So we have different audience of all work with them. So that's why we have to just to fix our styles there. We're going to bring in as well the visibility when necessary. Just, that's to be visible, to the project managers. But what is it like? What are you working on? What is the vision of the project you're working on? So it's good for them to understand what are they working on. It's not like, okay, your project, it's just to install the computer. Okay, that is good. But why we are installing? So it's nice to let them to have that vision and the visibility on what's the objective of that project. Another skill that's I like about it's conflict resolution. It's normal for conflict to happen in my job. And it's always, I just keep reminding everyone that the whole team, we are working for a common goal. That is the success of the program. What do we do if there's any conflict? That's we bring them all together, and we just gotta make sure to focus on how we can get that conflict solved. Team motivation. I empower my team, and what I do, I just let them make the decisions and go find the solutions to the problems rather than bring them me to solve them. I give them feedback and I reward my team. And Kola, he can just confirm that's Kola. Networking. Well, throughout my years at Walmart, I kept a very good relationship, with people inside, outside, the vendors. I have a good relationship with the vendors when needed. There we go. Like one of my networking now, I'm very happy. I'm glad that joined to come in to join the Agile GTA now. So this is some kind of the network, and it helped me. So that's good. All right, so thank you for listening, and I hope that you learned from my experience, and that I inspired you to pursue like a career in a program, program management, and you can reach out to me if there's any way I can help. I'll be glad. Thank you guys once again.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to throw it over to Kola, who's going to do a little bit of Q&A. I know we have some questions in the chat and from other people. I know I have a ton of questions, but you can see Kola, you can see his face. He's ready to annihilate you. So I'm going to hand it over to him and let's see what else we can learn. So go ahead, Kola.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andrea. A huge thank you to Jihad again for coming on this event today and just giving us your own key insights as to how you rose up through the ranks, um, the differences between a project and a program manager, and all the traits that you need to necessarily grow to become fantastic at what you do as a program manager. So we're on behalf of the team, we're truly grateful. And now we go into the question session. So because I have questions for you.
Okay.
But before I ask questions, I do know for a fact that we do have a few questions in the chat. So I'm gonna throw a question to you from Jennifer Chan. So Jennifer asks, was there a PMO within Walmart?
Yes, we do have a PMO office. Um, and the technology, which is that's myself, I do report to the PMO, and which is that's where we get all our the project management with the governance on all the project management, and it's we all those ones was the tools I was showing actually on the project. That's where yes we presented to the PMO.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I have another question. Under tools of a program manager, Anchor would like to know if you can go a little bit in depth of the process of APO approval.
PO approval.
Yes.
Well, with the purchase order, with the purchase order approval. So with the purchase PO approval, basically what's gonna require, you're gonna make sure first of all you're gonna look into your budget. Do you have a budget? Do you have approved budgets? So that's one thing we gotta make sure that's we have the budget. Then on the PO, then we're gonna put the budget. What is the projects and what is it required to put in that PO? Is it are you purchasing hardware? Okay. Now what we have limitations on the PO approval. If it is beyond, it goes beyond a certain amount of budget. That's where it has to go through, like in Walmart, we go through strategic sourcing. Like if we want to put a PO for anything, like let's say more than $250,000, they will not be approved until it has to be reviewed by strategic sourcing. Why is that? Because wherever we're putting that PO, strategic sourcing, they need to look at it because they might be do some savings, so they can negotiate the price with the vendors, and that's why it goes through the approval on. It requires the strategic sourcing approvals. Then once that one we get the approval from strategic sourcing, then it will go through the process. So the PO it goes to different levels of the approval. There's the manager, senior director, then it goes to the CIO, and the amount depends on the amount of the PO. And I'm sorry, and as well now, what is it goes through our finance. Before this, the project managers they used to create their own POs. It's been stopped completely, and we have to put a request, and the whole thing it will go through our finance team. Right, they can capture the PO number, they can capture the budget, and they can put it into their financial statement.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that answer, Jihad. I have a question. So, you are a program manager. How do you juggle motivating your project managers to be able to, like, what point do you at what point do you have them solve problems on their own to help them with growth, or at what point do you step in and say, okay, I see that it's a lot bigger than what you may be able to handle, and then at what point do you let them figure it out, or do you step in and help them figure it out as a program manager to help their growth in project management?
I will, Victor, what is it like? I will let them to solve issues on their own, and really once when I get there, when it will comes as an escalation. Like,
Oh, okay.
it's an escalation. Like this is where I will be involved. Like probably yes. Some some of the project managers, which is they will give me a heads up. Like, hey, I've been working on this problem. But I've been having an issues. Like I'm not able to resolve it. So that's please, can you come and take a look at it? Can you help me with that one? Like we need to solve an issue, for example, to do a certain installation, and the project manager then they're gonna go through the process. They will try their best to see how they can fix the problem. But if they do not, then that's where it comes to me. In my own, I will not find out about about the problem or the thing until the project manager they will come and they can ask for help. But the other way I would find out, that's when it goes escalated through the maybe like the project sponsors, or like it comes from different department that, hey Jihad, there is a problem at in one of the projects, and now it's causing kiosks over there, or like impacting the business.
Awesome. Awesome. I love asking him questions, but I don't want to take over the Q&A session. So if we do have more, we do have another question
Yep,
from
we have
Jennifer
another question
Chang.
actually.
Do we
Actually,
have
I,
it
I
coming in?
wanted to actually take that one over, Kola, because it's going to lead into the question I already have, and then I could probably answer
Fantastic.
Jennifer's question.
Okay. right, over to you.
So Jennifer's question is, when and how did Walmart move from waterfall to agile? So the reason why I wanted to talk a little bit about this is because it has a very interesting connection to Jihad. So story time.
Yeah.
Walmart decided to, at least in Walmart Labs anyways, we decided to move over from waterfall to agile in 2015. We started off with Project Fred. We do one team, like most companies when they do their agile transformation, you start doing little test teams, seeing the success of that, and then it grew into a bunch of different product teams. Jihad's team is the only team that I can only get them to do retrospectives once a month and stand-ups every now and then. They really, really try to be agile, but it's just the nature of their work. They can be agile right up into the point of getting third parties involved and deployment. But the cool thing about Jihad's team, which I applaud you, I mean, even Jihad, he's attended my Agile 101 classes. He's like, I need to know this thing because I see the value in it. He they have the agile mindset. And that is really what sets them apart from actually practicing agile. When they have issues and they have problems, their mindset is agile enough that they can seek solutions. It doesn't become a dead stop. There's never like a roadblock. We can't move any further. You even heard Jihad even say, I empower my team. I used to work with Jihad for 4.5 years, and I've seen the change in how it was a command and control to what comes to him naturally, which is let me empower my team, let my team grow, let me celebrate their successes with them. And that alone is an agile mindset. So hopefully that answers your question, Jennifer. So Jihad, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, that's right. But as you mentioned, like Andrew, like the the deployment, like because me, I run the deployment projects, and those are like it's a waterfall. It's not like an agile because it's a deployment of that. But you're right, like yes, when needed, we know how to use the agile and we know how to react right away in the agile mode. But majority of like I can say like probably 90% of our or like the waterfall, like we will go for the waterfall.
Cool. And then my question is just for people that are either project managers now and they're looking to get into program management, or maybe they have a goal to aspire to that level. When you came about, it was more of there was a need and you had enough experience to fulfill the role. What does a person need today to really grow into being a program manager role? Like, should they have a certain amount of years of project management? Are there classes you think they should take? Do they need to study what strategy means?
Uh, no, that's a good question. I like that question actually, and that absolutely. This is when we started the program manager at that time. The CIO Rick Newman actually. He's the one created that the program managers, and honestly, yes, he took us under his arm, like hey, program managers. We were like, hey, come here now. You are a program managers, but you're right. What I want you to learn about, he took us like to go get more training on strategy. He asked us to work on strategy projects, so that's where he was our mentor on that one. Absolutely, like the strategies, the with the skills as well to grow up the skills, like from all like the communications, how leadership skills as well is gonna require into that one. So yes, that's what we need, because the program manager, it's about strategy, it's not the project. The project, that's where your project manager, they manage them. You do not do the day-to-day of the project. That's their work to do. But when you take all over the project, that's you wanted to use that strategy. What is the strategy behind the whole program? And that's where you're going to start working on to build your strategy. Like, how can you take this program from start to the end? And what would it be the benefit? Like, what's going to be the benefit for the company? Because there is a goal and there's a benefit, the whole projects to accomplish at the end of that one. And that's what is it. Uh, you want to get into those type of experience uh, as well. you want to get more and more experience about the project management process skills as well. You want to, the more you work on honestly with the projects, the more you'll have more experience on how to resolve issues, how to work under pressures. Those, like, when you have 30 projects, there's a lot of pressures on them. Like when you look at them, you want it to be really calm, you want it to be good. I mean, like, where are all those projects? You're not dealing with one project. There's projects going over there. So that's where you would in. So you need to get that experience. You want to get that skills as well, how to manage that type of skills and pressures as well. It's gonna help. What is the other thing? For me, I had to take sort of like finance 101 lessons. It just because it helps you, because you're talking about the ROI now. This is more into financial thing, P&L, ROI. So that's good to get that skills, to get to know about it, about finance, all those, with the numbers. So you can look at the numbers when you look at the budget, how you can do all that with the costing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Jed, I had a question. Where do you find the bulk of your day goes as a program manager, and how that has changed or shifted from your day to day, and the bulk of your time would go as a project manager? Where do you see that shift, and where do you focus most of your time on?
Well, what I focus now on to see of the program, it's just because of the amount of the the projects. That's what I look at it. That's where I spend my time on it, to make sure that I have my support to all the project managers. That's what I spend with my time. I just go and check with them, to spend my time with the project managers team, to see what's the status of all the project, how are we doing, how are we progressing. I spend my time with the finance team. I spend time with the project sponsors, with the stakeholders, just to keep the relationship and just to understand what's going to be coming in the future. I go attend more meetings to see what's the strategy of the company, what's going to be the next 3 4 5 years, what is it. That's what I spend more time on, attending those meetings, just to have a better vision on what's the company, where it's going. Whereas as a project manager before, I used to go sit there, look into my project, what is my timeline, what is my deliverables today. That's what I spend all into my projects, on my project. But now, no, I spend really where's with the strategy, where's where we're gonna go with what's going on, like, because for me to understand what's going to be the next year, so I can do my better planning, what I need to prepare for the next year. For example, like, what we're doing, like, the online grocery, so many projects, so many improvements that's coming there. So that's where we are preparing for the next year. That's where I spend more time on those.
Awesome. I have a question. So you sound like a very hands-on, program manager. You let your project managers do what they need to, but you support wherever you can. In the climate that we're in, how has COVID affected how you communicate and relate with your project managers and all the projects under your program? Has it impacted the way you handle things or in any way?
You know what? Not really, because what is it? The way I kept it in my relationship with all my project managers, that's like, they know that I am there for them. So I'm available there the whole day, like in working hours. I'm available there. We have our meetings. That's what I keep my communication with them. We set meetings, one-on-one meetings, to see what's going on, how is things going on, what can I do, how can I help. We do as well, like, one of the things I kept it, like, from last year, I created, we call it coffee time. Half an hour, all the teams comes into the coffee time, no work. Anyone talks about work, out. We're not here.
I miss coffee time.
Yes, this is what is that, really, half an hour. Trust me, everyone comes looking forward for that half an hour. Just build that communication, like, what are we doing? Like, what we talked about, like hockey, we talk about basketball, go Leafs go. That's what we do. That's a Muhammad.
What did you just say there? Okay.
Go Leafs go, supporting Leafs and the Habs. But that's what is it. And really my team, they love someone. So that's what I keep my relationship, with my team and with meetings. What is it like? I'm not, and that's what I tell them, like, I'm not a microman. No, this is you guys. We are all professionals. We know what to do. You know what you have to deliver by the end of the day. So if I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there and just to go and to look for any of you guys. I can tell you, my team, like, they're not all like now currently here in Toronto. Like, they go here and there. I said, hi, I'm fine. You want to work from somewhere else? Work. To me, what it matters that what's your working hours, what you need to deliver, what you need from me. How can I help you at any time? If you need any help, please do not hesitate to come to me. I'm here to support you, and I'm here to provide any help for you guys. And what I keep as well, the teamwork. Keep them, like, if, for example, caller comes and asks me, I know the answer, but what I do, caller, can you go ask, for example, like, go ask Richard. I'm good. I know what to answer, but no, I want them to create that relationship between them, to create the trust. I don't want you to look like, no, hey, I'm like, I don't want it to be like shy, whatever, to come and ask someone. No, it's good always to learn. Learning is good, and it doesn't matter. Me, even though I'm a program manager, I learn. I go ask anyone else, like, because that's me. I love to learn, and I'm not gonna stop, like, because I'm a program manager. No, I'll continue asking to help and to learn.